Welcome back to the show. Well, the rumors finally came true. Undefeated world super middleweight and light heavyweight champion Joe Calzaghe announced his retirement on Thursday, saying that it was a difficult decision, but that he had achieved everything he wanted to in the ring. The Welshman dominated the super middleweight division. He made 21 title defenses during an 11-year reign, most notably against Jeff Lacey and Mikhail Kessler. He vacated the title earlier this year to move up to light heavyweight, where he outpointed both Bernard Hopkins and Roy Jones Jr. in his only fights in the United States. Calzaghe walks away as one of the rare fighters in history, Rusty, to retire undefeated. 46-0 record with 32 knockouts. We'll have more on Joe in a moment.
Heck of a record. With a showdown against Amir Khan on the horizon, Mexican legend Marco Antonio Barrera is in hot water, Dutchie. According to a Mexican newspaper, Barrera's brother and manager, Jorge, reportedly asked that Johnny Nolasco, the original opponent for Barrera's most recent bout, take a dive in that fight. At the last minute, Cuban Freitas Rojas substituted for Nolasco and lost by DQ.
Punchers. We had talked about Joe Calzaghe earlier. Well, here are some of the comments from some of his fellow fighters on Joe deciding to retire. This comes from Jermaine Taylor, who said, Joe retired healthy, wealthy, and with a Hall of Fame career. Although I'm disappointed that we won't face each other, I applaud his decision to leave on his own terms. A big bad Chad Dawson said he held the super middleweight championship longer than anyone, successfully defended it 21 times, unified the titles, then he moved up to light heavyweight, beating two future Hall of Famers. Although Carl Froch, not as complimentary. He said it's a shame that he's not had a career-defining fight. I'm not stupid. Calzaghe's been a great champion. He's a warrior. He's tough. He's strong. He's beaten everybody put in front of him. But how old was Roy Jones Jr. when he fought him? He was 40 years old. Bernard Hopkins, he was 43. Well, Russ is on his soapbox to talk about the greatness of Joe Calzaghe and the courage of Herman and Gojo. Rusty?
Well, that's right, Dutchie, and I know you're all aware that undefeated Joe Calzaghe announced his retirement this week after a 16-year professional career. After turning pro in 1993, Calzaghe won the WBO super middleweight title with a unanimous 12-round decision over former champion Chris Eubanks. Little did anyone realize that this would be the start of one of the longest title reigns in boxing history. A fighting champion, Calzaghe is almost a certainty for the Hall of Fame in his first attempt. Unfortunately, Calzaghe's legacy on this side of the pond will be less than stellar. While his accomplishments are remarkable, his reluctancy to leave the UK will forever haunt him. His wins over a very faded Roy Jones and a split decision over a 43-year-old Bernard Hopkins really did nothing to solidify his North American legacy, especially since he was dropped in both those fights. One only needs to study the 21 title defenses made by Calzaghe to realize that his accomplishments in the ring may only be exceeded by the careful management and selection of his opponents outside the ring. While there's no denying Calzaghe's achievements, greatness is defined by great fights with great wins over great fighters. Unfortunately for Calzaghe, those types of wins are few and far between.